Hello there, and in this video we're just going to be taking a look at some different weird how-to guides on wikihow.com. So, first one is how to eat a piece of pie or cheesecake. Alright, first of all, I didn't think that this would be something that would actually, need a guide, but their step one is get a piece of your chosen cake. Yeah, you can't really eat a piece if you don't have it. Get a fork or a spoon. That's good. I just like to shove the entire thing in my face. Run the fork or spoon down a small part of the cake. Put that piece on your fork or spoon. Close your lips and take the fork and spoon out of your mouth. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, that's repeat steps 4 to 9 until all the pie or cake is inside of your digestive system. And my favorite bit about this is, if done improperly, you may impale the back of your throat. To avoid this, try not to put too much of the fork inside your mouth. So who is this guide targeted at? Small children who don't know not to impale the back of their throat with forks, I guess? But, are they really going to be online browsing WikiHow? So next one. How not to cry at a funeral for a loved one. When a loved one dies, it's likely that you'll totally cry. Even though you should, you might not want to since it makes you sadder. This is how not to. You will hear that your loved one died. Instead of bursting out crying, you should just say, "Oh, sadly." To do this, don't think about the loved one's death, be quiet, and then say, "Oh." So, the theme of this guide seems to be repressing things. Yeah, just go ahead and repress all your emotions. Just bottle them up. Nothing bad could come of that at all. Then you would be at the funeral. Oh no, you might cry there or while going there. Try not to cry at this part. Don't think about it at all. Once you pray or something, stay focused on it. Try not to keep on playing flashbacks about your loved one. If you're really serious, you might go good on this. I don't even know how to parse that sentence. Now you can look at the dead one's body. It's a sad thing to do, but you cannot cry. Don't stare and only look a little. For the rest, do the same thing. So basically, this whole guide comes down to don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. Once you go home, clear your mind. At the burial service, this is where you will cry a lot. When the coffin is going down to the graveyard, just look down at the ground and think about other things. Now it's burying time. Just look at the whole scene with your eyes open a little. Don't keep on looking at the coffin. After that dramatic time, freshen your mind. In at least 2 to 6 days, you won't be thinking about this anymore. Yeah, you'll just be close to having a nervous breakdown. And then, here are my 2 favorite parts down at the bottom. It's okay to sob a little. Besides, other people are crying too. So, the guide basically admits that it's pointless. And then, never be so cheerful, like, okay everybody, Uncle Wesnut is buried, how about we celebrate? At least just try to frown. Oh, yeah, there was no we in there. So, the guide's final tip is don't be all cheerful and happy about the fact that your uncle's dead. Yeah, that's great advice. How to teach yourself to read. Okay, well, I see 2 problems with this. The first being that if you can't read, this guide probably isn't going to be of much use. And second, if you're using this guide, definitionally, you're not teaching yourself how to read. So, it goes over all the basics, like, learning your letters and making sounds and forming words and reading sentences and all that stuff. But then down at the bottom, it says, if you are reading this article for a family member or friend, remember that reading, especially at first, can be a struggle. Be supportive. Fair enough, but I like how it says, if you are reading this article for a friend. Because those are the only circumstances under which a person would read this article. How to open up. Not everyone approaches their feelings as an open book for others to read. However, closing yourself off from new people and experiences can stunt your personal growth. Learn to open up in order to improve your social and mental health. If that's what the people around you look like, you don't need to open up. You need to run. If they're just dark silhouettes with, creepy grins, man, just run. Just go. Don't worry about socializing with them. How to start a fountain pen collection. Okay. Well, don't start a fountain pen collection. Don't. How to act like a vampire. For girls. Yeah, funnily enough, I wasn't able to find the guy's counterpart article of this. Vampires are the in thing this year. Twilight has kicked off the vampire age, and teen girls are everywhere. Love vampires, are so perfect. Want to be a vampire, or just making your friends think that you are one? Want to write that sentence correctly? Read on. This is best done after a weekend, vacation, or school break. If you just have one day off, that's perfectly fine too. Oh, is it? Okay. The first thing is the transformation into a vampire is pretty slow to so start acting like a vampire bit by bit. Yeah, that makes sense. Some things to do are stop fiddling with stuff like pencils or hair. Don't blink as often. But still blink. Don't ruin your eyes. Blink slowly. Blink at least 5 to 10 seconds apart. Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me not to ruin my eyes, because, I just would have duct taped them open otherwise. Make it look like you are not breathing. But still breathe. Don't breathe. You could get hurt. Wait. So you're telling me not to breathe, but then that I should still breathe, but then that I shouldn't breathe because I could get hurt. Which is it? I'm so confused. And staring at people. Do not be a creep. Only stare for about 6 to 10 seconds. Stand for, less than 5 seconds isn't any good, and over 10 seconds that's no good either. Gotta measure out those stares, make them really, really the precise amount of stare time. But stare intensely. When transforming, pretend to get major headaches or your teeth hurting. This adds to the effect. After about a week of transforming, you are now a vampire. Alright? Why a week? What made you choose that arbitrary time? Congrats. Okay, so now you get into eating. Eat a big breakfast and do not eat a big lunch. Maybe a salad or a small sandwich. If your school allows it, eat in an area that no one else is eating. If you can't, eat a small lunch like stated above. Carry a metal thermos with you at all times. Drink what's in the thermos more frequently than you eat. Kind of guard what you are drinking. Blood, in quotes. And if someone asks what's in it, just say, oh, nothing. Also in drinking it, sigh deeply, like you are relieved. If someone asks you to sleep over at your house, say something like, I can't, I'm busy tomorrow. But I can hang out until before dark. Vampires usually get more active after dark. This is optional, but adds to the effect. So then, in that case, wouldn't you want to hang out after dark? If you get more active after dark? This also seems like a guide on how to be antisocial. Don't be too social. Have a few close friends and keep them close. Stick by their side, and if danger comes, defend them. Alright, so be ready to fight at all times. Got it. That's an important part of being a vampire. For music, stick to either classical, Mozart, Beethoven, etc., or you could go for rock bands like Paramore, Evanescence, Flyleaf, Nightshade, Nightwish, Shinedown, Black Veil Brides, Metallica, etc. Your choice applies. Never complain about being cold, hot, or tired. Vampires don't get tired. Choose to avoid light. You're going for the modern, I can go out in sunlight vampire. Not the oldest, I turn to dust in sunlight vampire. I think the second one's a lot more fun to imitate. You can walk out into the sun and then light yourself on fire, and then turn to ashes, and it'll be a really cool effect. When in the sun, wear big dark shades. If it's really sunny, pretend the sun bothers you a bit and move away. If you're in class and sitting near a window that is sunny, put on a sweatshirt. Don't get too hot, though. Try to stay in the shade when outside. If a person gets too close to you, scoot away, hold your breath, and clench your fist. Take a sip out of your thermos. The person will probably question this. Just say that you're a little uncomfortable. And thirsty. So, yeah, just act like a freak. In general. Good tips. For clothes, this could be anything. Goth, punk, emo scene, prep, normal, nerdy, dressy. Well, it's up to you. Wear a bit of natural makeup and cover up zits, pimples, bruises, cuts, etc. with a counselor or something? I didn't make any sense of that sentence. Vampires heal quickly. Okay, it's good to know that my body's healing abilities will be boosted by pretending I'm a vampire. I'm not gonna read the rest of this. Except, don't be too antisocial. It will drive people away from you. Yeah, like, pretending you're a vampire won't drive people away from you. Even though it says don't breathe, always breathe, because if not, it could be fatal. But I thought I heal fast from being a vampire. How to make people think you have ice powers. For girls. Again, couldn't find the Counterpart Guy's article on this. Ice powers are really cool. But it will be fun to make people think you have them. After this, you will be powerful to everyone. Yes, everyone thinks you're very powerful. Have cold hands. Dip your hands in ice cold water every now and then to make them cold again. Don't let your hands freeze or this will hurt. Have cold hands. Dip your hands in ice cold water every now and then to make them cold again. Don't let your hands freeze or this will hurt. Good advice. But then the next part is, act like you love cold, like it doesn't bother you. And if you can, touch snow or ice with bare hands. What happened to that part about not letting your hands freeze? And apparently you're just supposed to carry ice cubes around with you everywhere you go. That's very powerful. Whenever you see a movie where someone has ice powers, look at your hands for a second. When someone talks about ice powers, act a bit nervous. Look at your hands for a moment, maybe draw on a pair of gloves. Then suddenly start talking about something else. Yes, because, everyone talks about ice powers all the time. Looking cold. Wear blue and white a lot. Get a necklace. Make it look like an amulet. The best color is a light blue. Any color will work. Paint the palm of your hand a pale white. Sure, why not? That's very powerful. Dye your hair white or blonde. Braid it in the same fashion as Elsa's from the movie Frozen. Other icy activities. Study snow in school. Yeah, I didn't realize there were entire classes with big, thick books on purely the topic of snow. Draw snowflakes, ice, and icebergs all the time. Draw them on books, in diaries, on scrap paper, etc. Leave drawings around for others to see. Have secrets, but be a little bit mysterious and act like you have some sort of secret, but never reveal it. Write icy things. Sometimes go to some quiet place, get a paper, pen, and write something what can associate with ice powers. Write it over and over. What the fuck? Tips. Carry ice now and then. Push it or toss it away from you, or have it popping out of your pockets. Yeah, you just carry ice around with you. It's not going to melt or anything. Oh, except it totally will. So I guess you'd have to take it with you in like a cooler, but that seems sort of inconvenient. And then my favorite bit, don't act weird, it is not needed. Yes, as if all of the above was totally normal. How to break up a couple. Though breaking up a couple is a dangerous endeavor, if you think you really belong with a person who is dating someone else, then it's worth giving it a shot. These actions, can be morally wrong until you are doing it for the person's good. Yes, because this is totally about their good. Part 1 of 3, Planting the Seeds of Doubt. So, apparently, the first step is to surgically implant a zipper over your mouth. Alright, I'm not sure I follow this guide so far, but proceed. Don't tell anyone about your plans. Oh, alright. Though, I think you could just not talk to other people about them. Step 2. Become the confidant of the person you want to be with. Step 3. Let the person open up about the flaws in her relationship. Step 4. Creepily get all touchy-feely with them. Play the devil's advocate. Step 5. Part 2 of 3. Making the breakup inevitable. Step 1. Admire your hot bod in the mirror. Be the person that the person you like is looking for in a relationship. Step 2. Make yourself more present. Step 3. Exploit the couple's weaknesses, aka be a douchebag. Step 4. Try to separate the members of the couples. I suggest murder. Step 5. Butter up the friends of the person you want to be. Step 6. Don't be needy. Yes, because forcing a couple to break up so you can be with someone isn't the definition of needy. 7. Make the person you like jealous. Yes, this is totally the actions of a well-adjusted person. 8. React appropriately during the breakup. Part 3 of 3. Making your new relationship last. Don't jump in right away. Avoid talking about the ex as much as you can at first. Enjoy your new relationship on its own terms. Don't be paranoid about the past or it won't last. And step 5, admit you're a douchebag. Oh, and stop meddling in the affairs of other people. How to stop yourself from beating someone you hate up. Alright, well, if this is a common enough occurrence that you need to look up a guide on how not to beat people up, you are a sociopath. Steps. Calm down. 2. Talk to someone. 3. Even though hatred is a strong feeling, it happens to everyone, so talk to people. And apparently, rip your jaw off. How to explore voidness and live beyond it. Voidness is a complex object of study in philosophy because while it is fundamental system of thought, it has been used by many philosophers and metaphysicists on various levels, utilizing many different terms. To gain a firm understanding of it, ideally it should be handled fearlessly by anyone who looks for truth, as well as by those seeking to explore humanity and what constitutes the individual, in order to discover who and what these concepts constitute. Here are some ways to explore voidness and live through it. You know, I don't usually come to WikiHow to learn about the philosophy behind my existential crisis. How to know if you are psychic. Hint, you aren't. Test yourself. Imagine a girl sitting on a stool. Practice exercises like this frequently. The clearer your image is, the more you are developing your ability. Yeah, you know, I have clear mental images all the time. I wouldn't say I'm psychic. Put things into perspective. Find peace with yourself. Continue finding and nurturing your abilities. And then, the best part, don't tell anyone about it or you might go to a mental hospital, so they freely admit that this is crazy. Good for them.